What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video on this channel, and today look at the beauty we have. So I have three favorite motorcycles in the 600cc segment: R6, CBR 600RR and the Daytona 675R. And one among my three dreams is reality now. So I was riding this motorcycle for the past 1 week. I shouldn't call this as a review. This is just a first ride impression from a fan. That's all you can call it. The Daytona 675R. So this one is a 2016 Model 1, fully stock, no mods, no aero exhaust, nothing, but a brilliant and a brutal machine. So if you ask me, I generally go for wide open throttle all the time, but on this one it takes some courage. Nowadays it's like since I already have a 600cc, I thought I will be comfortable in opening the throttle, but this one requires a little more skill on our roads actually, but on the track it will be comfortable, but on the road it might take some courage and some experience and calculations to ride this motorcycle, because it's simply brutal in terms of power and brutal in terms of looks. I saw this motorcycle for the first time in 2014, I believe, in Nice Ring Road, Bengaluru, and just fallen in love with the motorcycle. This is the last outgoing model of the Daytona, and after that Triumph didn't bother to make this motorcycle. I shouldn't say bother to make, because all these motorcycles, the 600cc, just got killed by the Euro 6 norms. So basically, if you ask me what are the differences it has from the normal version, the standard version, the R has Brembo brakes in the front as well as in the rear, all-in suspension, fully adjustable in the front and the rear, and there are a few carbon fiber parts. There's a carbon fiber here, there's a carbon fiber there, and a carbon fiber part over there, and the seat is a little more taller. This is basically a track motorcycle, so the R is a bit tuned for that as well. So the engine is a little more powerful, a little more torquey, and it is 2 kgs more, but it doesn't matter, man. This is a 3-cylinder motorcycle. So 3 cylinders are famous for practicality of usage. On a 4-cylinder you get the power on the top, and on the 2-cylinder you get the power in the bottom rev range, but the 3 cylinders, it just give you a nice kick on the lower rev band, and on the mid range it is just beautiful. It's becoming a little noisy here, so let's go for a ride. Oh boy, the Daytona 675R. And from every angle this motorcycle is brilliant, and I'm actually riding this motorcycle in one of the best form, because it has brand new tires, the M7RR, brand new brake pads, what all you can ask for. And if you have any plan to buy this motorcycle, my humble request is do not compromise on the tires and the brakes. Whatever happens, do not compromise on the tires and the brakes. Gears, brakes, tires, those things save your life a lot. Not just a lot, those things actually save your life. Don't compromise on that. So basic things over here, what you can see, this is a pass switch, this is a high beam and the low beam, indicators, horn, and on this side you have the kill switch, the ignition, that's all. This comes with an ABS and no traction control. I got to know that in a pretty bad way. So let's turn on the dial. What a beautiful looking dial, man. You have all the basic information over there, and I like this kind of dial so much. It really lights up well. So this is the tachometer and speedometer, the trip meters, the time, the fuel gauge, everything. The riding posture is actually very committed. True super sport feeling. What you've just seen is the tip of the iceberg of the Daytona 675R's engine. So this comes with a quick shifter, only for the upshift, no auto blipper. You have to use the clutch for downshift. It actually climbs speeds so fast. With a blink of an eye, it will climb to 200 or even more than that. But the thing is, even though I'm comfortable with 600cc's, this is honestly the most brutal 600cc that I have ever ridden. Actually, when you ride this motorcycle, the feedback from the motorcycle is like too much. The wheelbase is shorter, the suspension is little onto a stiffer side. By the way, this motorcycle comes with adjustable suspension both in the front and the rear, so it's up to the rider to keep on whatever settings you want. And honestly, I don't want to tamper it now. The current setup is onto a tighter side, and I love it, and the feedback is uncomparable. And one thing is, like, since the engine is much powerful for the 600cc, you should know how to ride this motorcycle. Don't get me wrong, say even when you have a lot of money to buy this motorcycle, and you have an option to buy this motorcycle, just go to an academy, learn track riding for some time and learn it, because you should know how to throttle, you should know how to brake on this motorcycle. I'm not telling that I'm an expert in all these things, but I've taken one academy and I've learned few things. But honestly, this is one of the motorcycles where I'm using those techniques, because I know it's pretty fast, it's pretty sharp. In the beginning, I was just keeping it in the first gear and the second gear when I was taking to my home, because inside city you cannot open it, right? So I thought it's just another normal 600cc. And then when I started opening it, I got to know that I should know how to brake this motorcycle as well. By the way, this comes with Brembo brakes. I honestly feel this is more than enough what you can ask for on this motorcycle. So this motorcycle actually was given to me by my friend. He has a channel called Ducaman, and that's an irony. He loves Ducati, and previously he was owning a Ducati 959 Panigale, and he moved to a Desert Sled. And Desert Sled is actually a good motorcycle. Like, you can learn a lot on off-roads on that motorcycle. But still, he had a love for super sport, and he was again looking for a Ducati super sport. But the only other super sport which compromised him was this one. So just imagine a Triumph motorcycle which made a Ducatian compromise is something different. So yeah, to convince a Ducati owner to buy a Triumph, this motorcycle should be exceptionally brilliant. So while this motorcycle was on sale, it was selling for around 15 to 16 lakh on road. And of course, it's a Triumph motorcycle, one of the fastest Triumph motorcycles of that era. So you can expect the service cost and everything in that level itself. Basically, the motorcycle has to be serviced once in 10,000 kilometers. A general service will cost something like 12,000 rupees on an average. If you have to change the tires, if you have to change the brake pads, that cost a lot. Yeah, and the tire life generally for these kind of high performance tires, like sticky tires, will be something like 6,000 to 10,000, and it's damn expensive, man. Nowadays it's like almost 50-60k. It's a bit tiring to ride this motorcycle, especially if you are riding long. If you have to tour on this motorcycle, basically I don't want to call this as a touring motorcycle, I'm just telling, if you have to tour on this motorcycle, the sweet spot is 120 to 140. Beyond that, actually, the motorcycle in the 6th gear will act like a racing motorcycle. You are there on the sharpest throttle. It is just on the power band. So 140 is a nice speed. But the thing is, if you go to 100 or 80 on these kind of traffic, and when you want to open the throttle, you don't get that feel. You will feel a slight grinding feel of the 3-cylinder. If it was a 4-cylinder, it would have taken up easily. Even though it is slow, it would have taken up easily. So you tend to shift to the 5th gear and again come up. So that's a bit tiring. The clutch is not onto a harder side. It's kind of fine, no problem. But since there is no auto blipper, the downshift, we will face a little bit of tiring. And what I got to know from the owner of this motorcycle is that this motorcycle actually returns a good mileage of 15 km per liter if you are riding sanely, not out of the mind and all. But if you are riding fast, then keep the mileage 2 miles away from this motorcycle. It's a track motorcycle, you don't have to really care about how much mileage this returns and all. So basically, in any way you get to know that this motorcycle is in sale and you wanted to buy this motorcycle, ask few questions. Do you want a track motorcycle? Do you want a slightly uncomfortable, really powerful, a brutal motorcycle where you have to, where you're riding here all the time? You cannot be silly on this motorcycle. You cannot get butt hurt if someone else on a lower capacity CC motorcycle overtakes you. Then good to go. Be matured and ride this motorcycle. As I mentioned, this is a double-sided sword. It is like mastering an art, but if you don't know how to use it properly, the other side of the sword will be on your throat. So that's all my personal take on this motorcycle, the Daytona 675R. Don't call this as a review and all. I was just riding this motorcycle and I wanted to make a video as well. So I was having this motorcycle for around 7 days by now, and honestly feeling so happy, man. So in the past few days, one day I switched on to my CBR, then I felt like my CBR 650R it's like an adventure motorcycle. I was feeling so comfortable, but the brakes, as I told, I was feeling it like as a piece of halwa. It was not at all holding good. Then I came back to this motorcycle, it's like pure love. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, either do hit me up or go to my friend's channel, Ducaman, and ask your doubts. He'll be able to help you out. And if at all you come across this motorcycle in sale and it's in good condition, don't leave it. You have to prepare, that's all, but don't leave it. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye. Oh boy, no open road. Yeah, I'm getting it.